do not trust me at all. We are yet again discussing the romance genre. Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm doing the mid-year freakout book tag. So I will leave the link for the original creators down in the description for you to check out, as well as all the questions in the description as well. I would love to know your answers to these questions, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it and start answering the questions. So the first question being, what is your favorite book of the year so far? And for me, I might have to check this to confirm, but I think I have only given one 5-star book, or if I have given more than one, it's only been to this author, and that is R.F. Kuang, The Burning God. That is my favorite book that I've read this year. I read the first book last year and couldn't discuss it anywhere on my channel because of the HarperCollins strike. Thank God that's over, because this is like in my top 10 favorite fantasy series ever now, and I loved this conclusion. And the way part 2 of this book ends specifically was incredible, but the way that the very end was also like I am an emotionless robot until I read an R.F. Kuang book. Like, I didn't know what it was like to feel an emotion. That's obviously a lie, but like this, while reading, I didn't know what it was like to feel anything from a book until I read R.F. Kuang. Like, this is my favorite book of the year, easily, for sure. Yeah, this could also be the answer to the next question, which is, what is your best sequel? But I'm going to do my best to not repeat any answers in this tag. So, in fact, I know I'm not going to repeat them because I already answered the questions in my phone. So, the best sequel, it's just any book that comes after the first book, and really I haven't read hardly any sequels, but I have read this book called After the Funeral, which is, I think, number 33 or something in the Poirot series, which I haven't even read the first book in the series. I obviously want to, but I read that for a video that I have no idea when it will go live, but I did read that for a video, and I love Poirot. I love Agatha Christie's writing. I love her writing. I love that character. I'm very excited that there's 30-something books about him. So that was the best sequel that I've read. The next question is a genre that you've been loving the most, and I'm definitely still reading the most fantasy, but I feel like a genre that I'm surprised I'm enjoying as much as I'm enjoying it is the romance genre. I mean, I guess when I look at my favorites, I shouldn't be surprised because a lot of the things I love in my favorite series are the romances, but I didn't know that I would also enjoy just a plain old contemporary romance book. But yes, the romance genre, I don't think I've ever given anything more than 4 stars, but I would like to. I would like to get to a point where I can have a 5-star romance, but I mean, they're just so wholesome. I love them. And there are some that get real, we get to Pound Town, and you know, it is kind of weird, but I don't hate it. The next question is a new release that you haven't read yet, but you want to. And this was the easiest thing for me to answer because this book is everywhere on every single platform. BookTube, Bookstagram, BookTok. I haven't really been on Book Twitter, but I'm guessing it's over there. And if you are anywhere on the internet about books, I bet you can guess what I'm gonna say. It's Fourth Wing. Yes, I really want to read this, really bad, but I don't know why I'm not, honestly. Like, I could literally just start the audiobook. It's on Scribd in the United States, so I could just read it. But I'm just like waiting for the hype to die down. Plus, like, the second book is already coming out, so like I just kind of want to see if the second book continues to get as much hype as the first book, and if it does, then I'll be even more intrigued to read the second book. But also, it has a lot of comparisons to A Court of Thorns and Roses. I feel like people keep talking about that, and while I enjoyed that, I wasn't as obsessed with it as most other people that I know. So there's that. And then the next question is your most anticipated read for the second half of the year, and also very easy for me to answer. Obviously, I enjoyed this woman's work. She has a book coming out that is not in this world called Swordcatcher, in which she's having an event with George R.R. Martin. I don't know when it is. Might be happening right now. Maybe it was this weekend. I don't know. But that is one that I'm the most excited for because I don't know of any of my other. I really only have, unless this woman is writing something that I don't know about that's coming out this year, then it's definitely Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. The next question is a sad one. What was your most disappointing read of the year? And also, it was really easy for me to come up with this one, and that is Jade City by Fonda Lee, which I did not finish, officially at 78%, because I did not care at all. I really didn't care at all. And I wanted to care, but something about this, and I feel like I've seen so many people tell me that they only gave the first book like a 3 or a 3.5, then they read the second one, and then the third one has one of the highest average ratings I have ever seen in my life. So I want to keep going, but I just didn't care. I just didn't care at all. I knew I should care. There was a person in the book that I'm pretty sure died, and I felt absolutely nothing because I just didn't care. I don't care about mafia stories, I guess. I don't care about this. This is something I've learned in terms of gritty, just gritty fantasy is not my preferred genre. Like, I didn't love this. I didn't love Red Rising, and they have a similar tone in a way, I guess. I just don't, and we're gonna get into it in the next question. We're gonna talk about Six of Crows as well. Like, maybe I just wasn't in the mood for this when I picked it up, but I was like, I knew this has like, this is so well beloved and it has LGBT characters in it. So if you think this is your vibe, you should definitely still read it. Like, don't trust me. Do not trust me at all. But I'm really surprised that like the first book, even the first book gets the level of hype that it gets, because like it just felt like we were in too many characters' POVs in a way. Like if we had only been in like 1 or 2 POVs, I preferred the Poppy War over this, clearly. And I felt like this might have been better, or it wasn't, and people, I don't know. But if I didn't love this, should I still try to go back and finish it and read the rest of the series? I'm curious what you guys think, but this was not the one. Like, I want whimsical. Like, when I read fantasy, I want whimsical. And this is nowhere near that. Not even close. So I feel like it was way off from what I read. This has no magic in it. Like, it does have magic in it, but not in the way I want. So that was a bit of a tangent there, I'm sorry. But yes, this was easily the most disappointing book I've read. I did not expect to not even finish it. I really thought I was gonna at least give it a 3.5, but I couldn't even care to finish it. The next question is the biggest surprise. And I did literally just say that I don't love gritty fantasy, but I have to say my biggest surprise was Six of Crows. And I have to kind of give a little bit of backstory here. I read Six of Crows 2 years ago, and I gave it 2 stars. And I always thought to myself, maybe it's me. Maybe it's not the book, it's me. So I decided to purchase the book physically, because I did listen to it on audio the first time. And I decided I was going to read this again. Now, this is a gritty book. This is a book with some tragic-ass backstories. And, like, Leigh Bardugo's writing isn't my favorite. Still is not my favorite. But these characters, like, I get why people get so attached and they love them so much. And when I reread this, I gave it 4 stars. And the ending of this book, there were complete entire scenes in this book that I don't know if my brain, it was not active at the moment when I read those. It just wasn't. So rereading this physically was the right choice. And I'm currently in the middle of the sequel, and, you know, I'm loving it. I'm liking it a lot. I'm not loving it like the level of most people, but this is a surprise because it literally went from a 2-star to a 4-star. So that's a lot. And somehow this still worked for me. I think because it's like YA and it's gritty. I just like adult gritty fantasy, like not. I just prefer fairy tale-esque stuff. And this has like this weird, especially the first book that she wrote had this like kind of fairy tale, like Shadow and Bone has like a fairy tale-ish element to it. So like there's magic. There's very little magic, and the magic isn't a huge portion of, I don't know. I could do a whole video just talking about this, so I won't keep going and rambling. And obviously most people have heard of this, they know all about it, so don't want to just say what's already been said. The next question is, who is your newest favorite author? And I've only read this trilogy by her, but I want to say this lady is gonna be there. Like, can you see how annotated this is? Like, can you see how, this is like almost, it's at least every other page, I feel like. And there's so many times when there's like, I mean, literally like there's 2 on here, there's 1 over here. Like, this is, I think, my most annotated book. This was the highlight. This was a step above the rest last year, and I was so upset that I couldn't talk about it. It was my favorite book of 2022, and I'm probably gonna do a standalone review on this soon because I need people to know that I'm obsessed. Yeah, I still need to read Babel and Yellowface, but I obviously will for sure. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. She's definitely, if I enjoy Babel and Yellowface, which I feel like most people seem to be enjoying one or the other, if I enjoy both of them, I'm gonna be so glad for me. It's gonna be awesome for me. She's gonna be hopefully the gift that keeps on giving. And I know, like, I already know the book that she's writing, the next book that she's writing about going to hell and getting your professor out of hell. Like, I cannot wait. I can't wait. So excited. The next question is your newest favorite character, and that is from a romance novel, and it is not a man in the romance novel. It's the heroine, and that is Chloe Brown from Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I feel like I was looking at all the characters I read this year, and I would have said Ren was my favorite character, but I read technically the first book last year, but new to me this year was Chloe Brown. I just love her as a character so much. And I love the romance, and I want to be her. I want to be Chloe Brown. Like, the way that book was written was like, just, it was so for me. It was so for me. And I'm surprised that I'm saying a romance book for this answer because, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was never, like, against the romance genre. I was never like, I'm never going to read. I was just like, oh, I don't know. Like, I would rather read fantasy. But looking at, like I said, all my fantasies that I love and how we have lots of romance in my favorite fantasies, it's like, okay. So, like, obviously, that's an element of the stories I love, but I still don't know if I'll ever give a romance 5 stars. But again, maybe I could make that a whole video project. Okay, and then the next one is a book that made you cry, and I am repeating this answer, but it's also not really a repeat because it wasn't this book. It was the POV from another character that you get at the end. It's technically 2.5 in this series, but I don't know, reading it after finishing the trilogy was like even more heart-wrenching. So I cried at The Drowning Faith, which I really feel like it is quite a feat because it is literally this much. You see that? It's this many pages, and I cried. So, like I said, Miss Kwong makes me feel things. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, the next question is a book that made you happy. And again, we are yet again discussing the romance genre. And that is What If It's Us by Adam Silvera and Becky Albertalli, who I have read 1 or 2 other Adam Silveras, and he's normally known for his, like, sad ass books. And this is a romance, but I mean, the romantic elements are the forefront of the story. But this was just so, like, I don't know, millennial. I don't know. Like, it was so, I just loved it. I don't know what can I say. I just enjoyed it a lot. I will eventually read the sequel, most likely, because, like, this is like, there's a little bit of, I never was in theater, but I was in choir, and I love musicals. I love musicals. So there was a lot of musical references. There was, unfortunately, a lot of references to another very large franchise that I don't like to talk about on my channel, but was a huge part of most millennials' childhood. I'm sure you can guess what I'm talking about. And they constantly reference that. But it just made me happy. It made me happy. That's all I can say. I don't want to read the sequel because I feel like I will continue to be happy. I don't know. I wouldn't say I loved the ending, but I did enjoy the journey a lot. I enjoyed the journey with these characters a lot. And I want to read more Becky Albertalli, because I think Becky Albertalli is the one who's, like, putting all the musical theater references in there. And yeah, her books just have this, like, lighthearted vibe to them that I don't think normally Adams do. So maybe I need to read more Becky than more Adam, because I don't love being sad. So I like being happy. Although I did love me that R. Kwong book. So it just, you know, it's about the mood. Okay, and the next question is, what's the most beautiful book that you have bought this year? And I don't actually know if I bought this year or the end of last year, but even if I did not buy it this year, it's still the same book because it's Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I mean, look at that. It's so stunning. I love this map. I love it. And the illustrations, of course, just stunning. And absolutely, this is how you do, like, special editions. Like, I love all the editions that have, like, the design printed on the hardcover. I don't know. I love it so much. But even if I didn't buy this year, it would still be the same book because it would be this whole trilogy. I'm in the middle of the 3rd book right now. I'm working on a vlog with spoilers for this trilogy. And let me tell you, it's been a journey. It's been a journey, for sure. I read this last year, did a review for it, but this one, if you want to know my full thoughts, just have to stay tuned for that video because hopefully it's going to be up the next few weeks. I just need to finish the 3rd book, edit the video, upload it, you know, and my thoughts will be out there for the world to see. But these are absolutely stunning. These are some of the most, I think these are the most stunning editions of any adult fantasy for the most part. Like, I love these so much. They're just, have you ever seen anything more beautiful in your life? Okay, and then the final question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Which feels like an attack, but I need to finish the sequel for this. I need to finish this, like I need to finish the 2nd one and the 3rd one, which this is the 3rd one in the Bear and the Nightingale series. I still haven't finished the series, but I know I'm gonna love it, so I'm holding off for some stupid reason. But I know that I'm hoping the 2nd and 3rd are both 5 stars, but we'll see. I need to finish Babel. I need to start Babel and then finish it and then read Yellowface. And like I just said, I need to finish this chonky ass bitch. So, and I'm 1 chapter in. So, yeah, need to finish all those. That's barely getting into it. That's why I need to read every single book that I own. I need to read all 152 series on my BookTuber's favorite series list that I'm starting, and it keeps being updated every other fucking week with new BookTuber's favorite fantasy series because they just keep making their favorite fantasy videos, and I love that. But like, I need to read them. They take so long. I want to read more mysteries, more romance. I feel like I'm reading so much fantasy. I need to like read other stuff, but I do still love me. Fantasy is my favorite genre, so I just keep reading it over and over and over again. And so like I said, I would love to know your answers to any of these questions, and if you've done the tag, I'd love to see it. I will leave my Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. It will all be in the description for you to check out if you would like. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.